Morning. Say hi. Sorry about this. I don't normally do the front camera thing because I never know quite where to look. So, morning, Kay and Alfie and Ella. Lovely to be able to join in on this Facebook and YouTube live with the brand new Christmas collection from IndigoBlu, and this is a YouTube and Facebook launch this weekend. And morning Vivian, Stuart, hi Tom, lovely for you to join us. So we are on IndigoBlu Tube, so you can put us on your telly if you've got a smart TV, which is a wonderful way to watch, and we're also on the IndigoBlu Facebook page. So nice to see everybody jumping on. Hi Margaret. And so hopefully lots of you will have watched Kay's live at 9 AM. I had it on myself, which was wonderful to watch. Hi Kay. And Helen, hi. And I'm seeing both comments from YouTube and from Facebook here, so I can never remember which is blue and which is red on my screen. So anyway, lovely to have you join us. So I'll go through some of the new products that I've got to work with here, and then we'll do some demos and have some playing. And we'll just play until nobody wants to watch, really. So this is an IndigoBlu Christmas. Hi Bev, hi Tina. Bev, are you on YouTube? You normally are, aren't you? So I think Blue's YouTube. Hi Joan. Hi Tina. Hi Barbara. Is it your first live? It's my first live on the IndigoBlu channel, but not my first live ever. So let's crack on. Let's look at some of the new products. Let's get rid of that. Now, I should tell you before we actually start that you will find everything on the show on IndigoBlu.com. In the latest releases section, and there is a super duper bundle, as you can see there on the screen grab. You can get I Want It All at Christmas, and you get 2 of the gnomes that Kay demonstrated at 9 AM, well, towards the end of a 9 AM show. You've got 3 stencils and the 3 new stamp sets, and that's all for £45. And you actually save, by doing that, you save £18.93, which is not to be sniffed at. Hi Suzanne. You can't find it on YouTube. Oh, on YouTube, Bev, it's IndigoBlu Tube. So I'll just bring that up for you. It's this. That's what it is on YouTube, IndigoBlu Tube, all one word. Okay, so that's that. Get rid of all my bits and pieces. There we go. That's what we're looking at. Right, so the stamps. Now, mine isn't in packaging because I had mine before the packaging was ready. So the first stamp set is called Poinsettia Collage. I've got mine on a block here, so you can see that they are red rubber. They're mounted, they're already cut out for you, and the detail in the stamps is absolutely incredible. And stamped out, this is onto, it's actually onto Sentiment of Your Super Smooth card, this, just with VersaFine Claire. So you can see you've got that lovely lattice work there in the background with some script. There's some words in there. You've got 25, winter and poinsettia, and then you've got some script on this side too. Some splats and a I don't know if it's called a compass, but you know what I mean, that kind of thing there. I can't remember what that's called. And then you've got the actual poinsettia itself. So much detail. I absolutely love this. Good morning, Mr. M. Yes, I've just spoken to Mr. M, and he was watching Kay's live earlier on, and loves the rice papers. So this stamp is fantastic. And talking about Mr. Martin, The stamps that Phil launched yesterday, actually, the Notebook Botanicals, some of the extras you could actually use to expand this particular image if you wanted to as well. So that would work. It's absolutely beautiful stamp. I love stamps like this, my all-time favourite. They are all A6 stamp sets. Then you've got the Tall Santa, which is obviously, I've got mine on my wrappers, but again I've stamped all these out for you so you can see the detail on these. So Kay has drawn this one. So we've got the Tall Santa, obviously. You've got this great kind of collage word there, so you can use that in your backgrounds or just as a sentiment if you want to. You've got the little sending you love this Christmas. You've got the lovely Christmas lights here, and I do want to show you while we're here this wonderful sample by Carolyn, which has got she's just used the Christmas lights there and the actual sentiment, and then the light bulb is from another IndigoBlu stamp set that you'll find in the catalogue. I'm not sure if Alfie can find it and pop it in the comments as to what that one's called, because I can't remember. But I think that's a wonderful sample from Carolyn, quite inspired really. And then you've got this little chappy here. I'm not sure what he is really, whether he's like a little snowman or a gnome or whatever he is, but he again is absolutely fantastic. And I know that this particular sample from Leslie is Ella's favourite sample. I've got loads of samples that I've uploaded that I can show you. Accidentally touched that one, didn't mean to show you that one, but it's fine because you can see that you've got the lights around the edge, and you've got the little man in there, and you've got the tall snowman as well. So yeah, they're just such fun, aren't they? I think with the stamps that Kay's bought at IndigoBlu have done this time, you've got a very traditional one that's for everybody. You've got the kind of comical one with the tall Santa, and then you've got this one. This is your ho ho ho. And again, I've stamped all these out. I tend to do this so I can see what they're all like. They all come scrolled for you, but you will get them on a laminate sheet which has got the actual image on there, just like you can see in that all pick. You can see they're on the laminate there. And he has got he's like he's kind of a traditional Santa, but he looks like he's a very jolly Santa and a very friendly Santa. There's lots of shading lines going on in there, so it's very easy if you're colouring in, or if you want to go back to Kay's live at 9 AM. Kay stamped it with Distress Oxide and just pulled some of the colour out, which is a really easy way to colour in. You've got 3 presents in this set, different sizes. You've got Happy Christmas from all of us, and then you've got the speech bubble, which obviously is a really cool thing to have, and the ho ho ho, which you can use en masse in a background, split it up. You can do lots and lots of things with that. No, Lillian. Lillian's asking me if I will be at the Secret Retreat. No, I'm not going in September because I'm not sure what my life is going to be doing in September. Maybe next year. So those are all the new stamps. So the new stamps, there is actually an offer on the A6 stamps. You can get all 3 designs for £11.99 each, or you can get all 3 for £30, which saves you £6. So I think with all those, I mean, you can. I'll just bring you up a few of the samples from the design team that you can see. So there's a lot of flexibility to use them in lots and lots of different ways. Lots of inspiration here. So I know I'm going through them quite quickly. I'll show you the more detail later on probably, but you can see there's lots and lots that you can do with them. Well, that's just a stencil. So I think you're gonna have all your Christmas sorted by having those 3 sets. So you've got all 3 for £30, but as I said, there is that I Want It All bundle that has all 3 stamp sets. There's 3 stencils, which I'll show you in a moment, and then the 2 gnomes, Gnorine and Gnevel, which I think are just brilliant names. IndigoBlu do fantastic names with all of their their products. So we've got some stencils, and these are 6x6 inch stencils. And so we've got, actually let's bring a blank piece of card, which would be easier. One. So you've got, they're all 6x6 and they are £3.99 each if you just want to go for them individually. So you've got Dotty, which is obviously polka dots. Polka dots is always a really good stencil to have, and Kay in her towards the end of her live used them on the sort of trousers and the body of Ganeville, which was super. Always really useful. And don't forget with stencils, not only can you use mediums through it, sprays through it, you know, ink through it with your oxides and your distress inks, but you can also dry emboss with it. So you can pop them through your electric die cutting machine or your manual die cutting machine with a rubber mat, and you can actually stencil with them as well. So that's your Dotty. Then you've also got your Flaky, which is your snowflakes. And then finally you have your spotty lines, which Kay said she wanted for the beard of the gnomes, but it works really well just as a background. Oh yes, so Bev's saying that the rice paper she wanted is out of stock. Yes, Kay did say at the beginning of her live that the rice papers were going to be super busy. So if there's anything left on the IndigoBlu website that you do want rice paper wise, then you need to be very, very quick. This is a social media launch. These products aren't going to the TV. It's just so we can spend lots of time with you guys demonstrating them, and it's so exciting because I can spend a couple of hours with you if I want to, rather than just 15 or 20 minutes. So there's also a product that has been out for a little while, is the Slappy Foam Sparkle. I have mine here. I love sparkly pastes actually. So I don't know all the names of them, but I have done them all for you on with the stencils. So this is the purple one, which is called Queen Elizabeth. And so you can see lots and lots of sparkle in there. If we can pick that up, I don't know if we can because it's not particularly bright in my screen, in my room rather. So that's the Dotty, and they are extendable as well. I should mention this to you, that you can actually, if you want to, you can pop the stencil back from whence it came, if I can get the right side. No, it must be that side, yes. From whence it came. Then put your tape down there, and then you can extend it so that you've got a longer piece if you want to. So that's the Dotty one with the Queen Elizabeth. Then we've got Mermaid Green, and they are kind of, the colour comes from the glitter, so there's like a milky suspension which dries clear when it goes through when it dries. And drying time depends on the size of the holes in the stencil and obviously the room temperature. So obviously that's on your that's the Mermaid Green on your spotty lines, or whatever it's called. I've lost the name of it now. I'm doing my best, spotty lines. And then we've got this one, which is your Jubilee Rose. And I put this one through the Flaky stencil. So that's more sort of a deep pink. And we've also got the blue. And the blue is called Seize the Day. See what they did there? Seize the Day through the Flaky stencil. These are my favourites actually, the gold and the silver, and I will explain to you why much later in my live. This is the Gold State Coach, which Kay used in her demo through the Dotty stencil. And for me, these two are the most versatile. And then we've also got the silver lining through the spotty lines. So those are your Slap It On sparkles, and they are, let me look, they sell at £6.99 each, or you can get 2 for £12. So that's a saving of £1.98, isn't it? So if I were you, if I'd get them all, but if you can't get them all, I would definitely get the silver and the gold, which I'll explain later on in my live as to why. So those are all the new products that I've got. Just checking. There is, oh yeah, there is actually, to the right thing. Oh, there is an offer on the True Grit as well, which is super paste. It's normally £12.50, but you can get it for £10 at the moment, so you save £2.50. The gnomes, the 2 large gnomes, you can get two large gnomes plus the 3 stencils. You can get for £25, £20, saving £5.98. And I think that's it. That's all I need to tell you. Right, okay, let's go on and do some demos. Make sure I don't lose everything I need to use. I thought we'd start pretty elegant to begin with. That's what I thought we'd do anyway. So we're going to do the poinsettia. So let's see whether I've got any card in there. No, I didn't. Right, so let's grab a piece of card. I've just got an A6 piece of card, and this is actually the stamping card. Which they do on the IndigoBlu website. You get 10 sheets. I can't remember. I think it's £3.99. Alfie will put the link in for you. Yeah, the thing with the Louise is just saying she's got the purple and the blue, and she's just brought the gold of the Slap It On sparkle. It's fabulous because you can mix the colours together. You can add things to them. You can do absolutely loads. You can sprinkle things on top. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Now what am I looking for? That's what I'm looking for. This is my habit, an anti-static bag, because I like an anti-static bag. It's just a habit that I've always been in, just in case I've got any greasy fingerprints on my card. Yes, Lynette, it is a beautiful Christmas collection. I think there's definitely something for everybody, and there's also something for yourself, because you're going to have so much fun with it, which is obviously always a win-win situation. So I'm actually on a Slim Jim here, because I think I've lost one of my have I? I might have lost one of my Thin Lizzies. I've also broken one. I don't know how I've broken one, but I've broken one. I just don't know how. Right, so we're going to go for Versamark rather, because we're going to be embossing with silver embossing powder, which is here somewhere. Hi-Ho Silver Embossing Glaze from IndigoBlu. That's what we're going to use. So I'm going to ink it within an inch of its life, because I'm on a block rather than in a stamping platform. One of the things I normally do them in stamping platforms, because I'm lazy and I tend to do a job a lot. One of the things about a stamping platform is you don't often get edges. You do need to remember when you stamp with a block that you don't give a lot of pressure on the edges. I mean, they're very, very well trimmed, but if you ink like I do, you need to not put too much pressure on the edges. And also, don't overpress, because if you overpress, then you lose some of the detail of the stamp. It's just practice, and it's getting to know your stamps. Hi, Pam. It's fine. It doesn't matter if you're late. Remember that these videos are available to watch on IndigoBlu Tube or the IndigoBlu Facebook page, to watch whenever you want to. So when you get your stamps, you can put us on in the background, and you can actually craft along as well. Now I've got a very, very dirty Versamark. In fact, I think I've missed a bit of that stamp. which is just as well, seeing as I've actually got one stamped already. Now, where's my paper? That bit will do. To be honest, it doesn't matter that much because it's a bit of it's a collage background. I'm making my excuses already. Don't have your fan on when you put your embossing powder on. So you can see I've missed a bit there. Only in a live demo. It's the first time I've missed a bit of that stamp. I was trying not to overpress and not underpressed. Hi Sharon. So Mr. M, when you're looking at your comments, it looks like blue is Facebook. No, it's not. Is blue Facebook? I don't know. Can't remember. Just ignore me. Right, so let's just quickly heat set this. I haven't got an industrial machine like Kay has. Even with a bit missing, it's absolutely glorious. I love the sort of Moroccan trellis at the back. I've not seen a collage stamp with a Moroccan trellis on before, and I really like that. I mean, I've seen the script on, you know, loads of times, but the trellis is fab. Oh, I have a feeling I might need to leave you in a second and go and answer the door. I don't think Nathan's up yet. Hang on a sec. Actually, I can't see him. No, we're all right. We're all right for a minute. And I've got a delivery coming. Right, so there we've got that beautiful. You've got all the detail. You do need a detail embossing powder when you've got something like this. And then what we can do is just tear around the edges to grunge it up a little bit. Get me, Kay, tearing around the edges. I mean, this could go on an A6 card. So you could just stamp this, mat it onto a piece of silver card and pop it onto an A6 card. How quick and easy would that be? Really quick and easy. So what we're going to do now is just take our Versamark. You can also take a little bit of the flitter glue on a piece of cut and dry foam, and you can drag that around the edges if you want to. And then we're going to add some embossing powder to this edge, and then we're going to have a kind of a distressed silver edge on it. Okay, where's my paper? There it is. Honestly, pieces of paper go missing constantly in my craft room. Just going to add it to the edge. It does tend to you'll see when you heat emboss it like this, it does tend to be a little bit duller, not as bright when it's on the edge of a torn piece of card. I don't know why, but it is. But that just gives you different texture. It's always like a bit of a happy accident when something doesn't happen quite as you'd expect it to be. Is this one in the collection? Bev, are you talking about the I Want It All? So if you want the whole collection, yeah, it's got all three of the stamp sets in, the 3 stencils and then the 2 gnomes, Gneville and Gnorine. I like saying Gneville and Gnorine. I think it's really funny. It tickles me. You can, of course, if you'd use the glitter glue, you could go for one of the glorious ultra thick embossing powders that IndigoBlu do, and then you get real texture going around the edges. But I wouldn't do that with Versamark. Glitter glue is the glue, so it's going to grab the embossing powder more and not go all over the place, whereas thick embossing powder tends to go all over the place if it's on Versamark. So you can see that it's got you know, some bits are kind of bright and some bits are like grey, so it's got a different kind of look to the edge of it. Yeah, Alfie's just put up the stamp bundle for you, so if you just want to buy the 3 stamp sets on their own, then you can absolutely do that. So I'm going to go to the one that I've done properly. Here's the one I've done properly. I mean, this one I could use, I could absolutely, because I'm going to decoupage on top, so I could still use this, because I've gone and stamped again, and so I could lay that over the top. And so that kind of bad stamping is actually hidden now, so you can't tell. But I'm going to go with this one because it's done properly. That'll go in my homework box. That'll get given away at some point. And I could paint this if I wanted to, but I do actually just like the elegance of having just the silver in here. So we're going to shape those a little bit and pop those on top, and then I've just got one with the silver, and it's easy fussy cutting, it's not difficult fussy cutting. And then that one's going to go, see if I can figure out where it does go. Where's that? I think that goes on there like that. That's where it will go in a minute, but let's go for the background first so that we know what we're doing. So I want another piece of card. Let's go for that piece, that'll do. So we want the dotty stencil. And I don't know what I've done with Kay's tape, so I'm using the Scotch one. And I do tend to use this when I'm doing this sort of stencil work. I don't tend to stick it down when I'm using just ink, but if I'm using a texture paste, I do tend to stick it down. You could use Gilding flakes around the edge. If we get time, I will actually stamp the poinsettia and gild it as well, because I think that will look rather marvellous. So we'll see how we're going. We're doing all right because it's less than half an hour in. And Kay was, I think, 1 hour and 3/4, so that's what we're aiming for. So we're using the silver lining here, beautiful silver one. And as Kay said, it's just like spreading butter. You don't want to dig underneath. You don't want to take ages to do it. You just want to drag it over the top. If you're only using one colour, then you can absolutely put any excess back in the pot. There's no problem there. If you are mixing your colours or adding to them, then have a spare stencil and a spare piece of card to one side, so you can just do a border or something. In fact, the dotty is a great one to use up your excess with, because you can do a dotty border. Let's get rid of that. Come on, I need that bit coloured in. Being quite frugal. Just drag it over the top so it's nice and even and we're not wasting anything. Also, a bit of a top tip, because I've learnt from my mistake, is to obviously clean off your spatula, but just because it's a medium, I tend to just clean around the top, very top, like that. So if I don't use it for 6 months or whatever, it's not welded to the top. Not that this would last 6 months because I'd be using it, but you know, I've had it happen with other products in the past. So let's get my bin out. start pulling this away. And I have gone in the middle of a square piece, so immediately I've got a kind of a matten layer going on here, which is quite nice to have. Come on, last one. I tend to not bother with a shelf, I just go for it. So it started to come up at the side, so I can just lift that straight up and pop it in a bucket. So that will take, I suppose at the moment, probably take an hour to dry. Yes, I will try and gild it if I've got time. Okay, so that's my background, and what I've done is I've gone for a bigger piece of card, and I've done that thing where I said you can extend it. So what I showed you earlier, I slotted in. In fact, you can see where I've done it there. I didn't get it quite perfect, but it's a dip it in there. It's a background, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to be absolutely fine. So let's put that to one side before I go and dip something else in it again. Clean that off my hands. So this one's obviously dry, and I have cut a frame out using one of my Sentimentally Yours dies, and so that's going to go in. I quite like putting things in frames. It's just something different, and it's not what the other IndigoBlu team members tend to do, so I think it just gives you a different look. I mean, here's one that is embossed and again decoupage, but it's been coloured in and it's gold on black, and I think that's rather stunning. It's rather elegant. Here's, I think this is one of Carolyn's here, where she's coloured in a bit of the trellis work and a bit of the detail behind to make that pop, which is just stunning. I mean, the design team have had a lot of fun with this particular stamp. Here Sue has done shrink plastic. I mean, it must have taken her ages to do a wreath. Just a little bit of, perhaps, I don't know, frayed burlap or black soot or something in the background to make it more vintage. The samples are just beautiful. I know that's Lorna's because it's on her desk. You'll see that Lorna's doing a live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Kay's doing a live at 9 to 11 a.m. tomorrow. More embossing on black card. Look at that. Just simple. Just stamped and embossed and a sentiment. Job's a good one. Really easy. A bit more grungy. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. It's a wonderful stamp. Wonderful stamp. So let's add our frame. The DT samples are gorgeous. Sharon's saying they're gorgeous. They really are, aren't they? They're so clever. And they haven't had long to work with them either. And of course, then we've been dealing with the postage strikes and whatever. So they did a really good job getting them to Kay in time. So let's pop our background on. Obviously, we want to try and keep everything straight if we can, rather than having our wonky spots. Oh, there's my delivery. So I'm going to leave you looking at this wonderful sample from Sue. Look at the buckle on that. I'll be back in a minute.
Thank you so much. Good thing we found this parcel there, because 7 people called in sick last week. We have to pick all the parcel for us. Yeah. Just happened now. Thank you so much. See you, bye.
So you can hear him then. Sorry about that. This happens regularly. It's the joys of working from home. So I'm now going to undercut around my frame very carefully with some sharp scissors. You'll see that I've chopped my next demo one down a little. I've chopped it down ahead of time, and it's a little bit small. So this is like a fail safe, really. Rather than measuring it or getting it not quite right, it's easy to just cut underneath. I'm a little bit out of breath running up and downstairs. I don't run up and downstairs very often. Okay, so there's my background all done. And we're going to pop that onto a piece of silver card. We're going to stick that flat. So grab my grab and go. It's my Halloween stuff that's just arrived. That'd be me this afternoon, tomorrow, packing. So I don't know if you've come across Grab and Go before from IndigoBlu. It's a really good glue for, Kay wanted it for her MDF projects, and it really does grab really well. It's got kind of a nipple effect on it. It's like the flitter glue pot, so you just sort of clean it off and screw it up, and it doesn't get clogged, which is wonderful. I have put a bit too much on there, so I'm just going to get rid of a little bit of that. And it does really stick really well. Kay did her gnome earlier on with it. Let's see if this is straight. Nice little silver border around the edge. And then I am going to put another layer of foam because I want to. So I'm going to put another layer of foam on the back, and I didn't do this ahead of time because I wanted to be able to kind of press down. Off. This is just silver card with my stash. I don't know who's done this. I just found it. I need to start using up all the stuff I've got lying around. And this is going on here. So I bet you want to know how big this is. So I'll measure this for you in a minute. People like to know. Obviously I'm only doing a card front in this particular one, so this is 8 inches by 6 5/8 for some unknown reason. And then we're going to take our beautiful poinsettia. Make sure that you've got the words up the right way, which is a bit of a rookie mistake sometimes that we all make. One of the beauty of not actually doing a proper card is that it doesn't actually matter if it's on upside down or not, because you just turn it up the other way. So I'm going to put that slap bang in the middle. The dots will help me line it up, which is quite handy. And then we're going to add our... I'm not going to bother putting any foam tape underneath. I'm just going to give it a little bit of shape and then put some grab and go in the middle. Where's my... trying to screw it all off. That's not going to work, is it? And that's going to go here. Actually, it doesn't matter if you skew-whiff it a bit, because, in fact, well, let's do that. Let's skew-whiff it a bit, because then it looks like it's a fuller poinsettia. It's a more robust poinsettia. And we can even skew-whiff this bit. That saves lining it up, doesn't it? let's put that one there like that. That definitely looks fuller. Obviously I could have put foam on that, but can't be bothered. I don't want it too deep. Then in the middle you could add a little bit of unicorn sparkles if you wanted to, or some pearls. And I've got a sentiment. This is from the it's from the Ho Ho Ho. Yep. And I've just again stamped that in silver, and that's going to go on there like so. So I need a little bit of foam tape, I think, or we can just do it. Actually, let's just do it that way. Let's do it from there to the frame. I think that'll fit nicely. Let's give it a chance to grab. And there we have it. There's our first card. Nice silver elegant card. That obviously you could use any of the 3 stencils in the background if you wanted to, but it's absolutely beautiful stamp. I like Skewiff. I'm impressed that you actually tried to spell Skewiff, because it's not an easy thing to try and spell, is it? Right, so that's that one. For the second one, we're going to make a version of this card. I did give a sneaky peek to a couple of days ago, actually. So we're going to do a blue version of that. Oh, I mustn't forget one of those. I don't want to lose all my bits, which I might end up losing one. I might be a ho-ho instead of a ho-ho-ho. Oh, there it is. Right. Okie dokie. So in the background of this one, we're using the ho-ho-ho. So all of the stamps are from the ho-ho-ho. And we've got the spotty lines in this one, but we're going to use the flaky one. And I've done a frame again using some Sentimentally Yours dies, because I've got them. So I'm going to use those. We've got lots of sparkle in there, but I will show, the background is a little bit different. It is actually the gold, but it isn't, because I've changed it. So I will show you that after we've finished this demo. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So let's start with the texture paste, because we can. I'm using up scraps of card. Now this is actually the centre of my frame, so it's a little bit smaller than the stencil, but that's fine, because what we can do is we can actually mask up, because it's got like a double deboss edge on it, and I don't want to go over the edge of that, so we can actually mask that off. So we could give ourselves a slightly different look. So you want to mask off the lines. Oh. So I can see better if I just do it this way. I'm not very frugal with my tape, which is really naughty. One more. Alfie's putting all the links in for you, so you can go and shop specifically. When you open the links, it should open a new window up on your computer, so you'll still be able to hear me even if you can't see me. So I am just going to freehand this, I think. Am I? Yes, I am. And we're going to use the Seize the Day, the Slap It On Sparkle. Remember, there's a deal on these, 2 for £12, which you save £1.98. So I remembered that bit. So I think that's about even. So we're just going to spread this through, just like we did before with the dotty one. Now, these are bigger holes than the dotty ones, so you do want to be careful that you don't dig underneath. If you want it super sparkly, what you could do is actually, should we do it? Yes, we do. I won't tell you, I'll just do it. There's the thing. Starting on a thought and not telling you what I'm doing. That bottom bit is always the most difficult to get. Right, okay. Happy with that. I'll wipe that off. And do as I say. Actually do it. Clean the top so that we don't get it welded on there. Now, if I was Leonie, I'd have another piece of card and I would miss that, and you get rid of all the excess. To be fair, there isn't a lot of excess actually, so we're not really wasting very much at all. So that's just going in my bucket, and I'm going to just get rid of all this tape. Dangerous taking 2 pieces off at once, 3 pieces off at once, even 4 pieces off at all the same time. Right, get rid of that. Clean this bit up. Let's move that, so it's always in the way. Right, so that's lovely, because obviously we've got that lovely little frame all the way around the edge. That really works really beautifully, and it's got a lot of sparkle on it. But if you want more sparkle, let's use this again. What you can do is pick it up very gently, and you can take your unicorn sparkles. Lovely. I lost it. I don't know what I did with my pot, so I've gone and grabbed another pot. So they're super sparkly, absolutely beautiful. Ultra fine glitter. No unicorns were hurt in the process of collecting these sparkles. I have that on good authority. Let's just start at the edge and drop it down. And when you flick, be careful. You'll find that there will probably be some glitter that sticks to the edge where you had the low tack tape, but that's fine. Just leave it to dry, and then you can get a soft brush and actually brush off the excess. So when that dries, that's going to be even more sparkly than it was already. So you can do that with any of your paste. You can do it with your super thick slap it on. You can do it with your true grit. You can do it with any of the slap it on sparkles. If you want more, because it's good to have more, isn't it, sometimes? So if you want more, you can do that. So we'll put that aside to dry. Obviously, that will take longer to dry than the dotty stencil, because the holes in the stencil are bigger. You can extend that one as well. You can, the flakes will actually, the snowflakes will actually sit inside each other, and you can actually extend that one in the same way as the dotty one as well. So don't think that you're restricted to kind of square cards or just borders on your cards. You can actually do your rectangles as well. Where's my lid? I put my lid down somewhere. Where is my lid? Oh, for heaven's sake, Julia. There it is. Right, I'm just going to get rid of that extra bit of glitter that I've got there, covered in it. So that's my background for my for what my snowman's going to sit on. And right, so let's do our stamping. So let's get a piece of card. I am going to use my stamping platform for this, because I'm going to stamp loads of stamps at the same time, and it's just quicker. What I will do, if I can find it, there it is. There it is. So again, I'm on the smooth stamping card, which is on the IndigoBlu website. And because I'm dealing with A6, what I'm going to do is, this is one of the Crafts 2 Press to Impress, and I've got one of the templates in the background. So I'm going to actually line it up with the 2 and the 1, so I know where it's going. So it's not butting up to the corner, but I know if I need to reseat it, that's where I'm going. And if I want to do a job lot, so if I want to keep on stamping lots and lots and lots, so I'm doing my good old multi-stamping, I know that that's the lines I'm going to use to pop the stamps on. So we're going from the Ho Ho Ho, we're going to use the lovely Santa himself. We need the Merry Christmas. We need the Ho Ho Ho. And we need the 3 presents. This is why I'm doing it in the platform, so I can do it all in one time. And this is an A6 piece of card. I mean, it's an A6 stamp set, so you can actually get these other 2 on there as well, which is what I showed you at the top of my live. So I can actually move these magnets on a little bit. I do like my magnets. And we want, I'm going to use Versafine Clair. I'm going to use my Nocturne, which is the black. If you don't want it to be as bright, you can go for one of the browns like Fallen Leaves or Acorn or Pine Cone. Or you can even go for the Morning Mist, which is the grey as well. But I like my images to be nice and bold. I may even stamp it twice so that the black is really rich. Oh, missed a bit. That is one of the dangers of stamping more than stamps at once. But look at this. Look at the detail on that. Absolutely incredible. There are no words really, are there? It's a wonderful, wonderful image. In fact, I don't think we need to go again, actually. I think it's good enough. Yeah, we go as is. And I have done some colouring ahead of time, so that you don't have to sit and watch me do loads of colouring, and we can do lots and lots of techniques and things. So on this one, I mean, I fussy cut them all out first, and then I coloured them. On this one, the colours I've used are, what have I done with it? There it is. I've used the translucent paints. The translucent paints are my absolute favourites. And so I've used Rossetti Red on the main part. I've used black on his gloves and his boots. I didn't realise it was translucent black, but I've got one. 22 karat gold I've used on his buckle. Slate grey. I've used a bit of slate grey on his beard because I decided I didn't want him to be an all white beard. I've given him some slate grey on his beard. And I've used racing green on the presents, and I've also used a little bit of red hot chili as well, just as a different red. So you can see here the difference. So we've got red hot chili down there, and then I've got the Rossetti red there. So the Rossetti red is more of a Christmas green, whereas the red hot chili is a light, a Christmas red, and the red hot chili is a lighter red. But it just gives a point of difference, really. So that's what I did on that one. Let's get my little bits out here so I don't lose them all. Oh, and on the flesh, because I didn't have a flesh coloured paint, translucent paint, I've got, that's one of the Sentimental Yours watercolour blending brush pens from set 3. So I've used that. So the colours where I was going to use the same colour on both, I've already coloured in. So we've got a little bit of the racing green going on, and we've got the black in here. I've got the slate grey on his beard, and I've got the 22 karat gold on his buckle. So these are all the bits. So I've cut the Ho 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 down into 3 little pieces. Very easy to cut out on this card, actually. and I thought we'd do blue because we're going for a blue background. And Santa in them days gone by, apparently Santa was originally blue. I didn't know that, but he is. So I've got two blues here that I might use, that translucents, because translucents are my absolute favourites. We've got Sargasso Sea and we've got Bluebell. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet. I haven't made my mind up. So we're just going to figure out as we go along. Now I must have somewhere an IndigoBlu paint mat. I must have somewhere, but do you think I can put my hands on it? I have, right in front of my nose. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? It's got a bit of gesso on it, this one. Gesso doesn't come off your mats very easily, so just bear that in mind. And I'm going to use this just so that we can see the paint. Mine's always rolled up. Right, okay. So we get a little bit of paint out and see where we're going with it. Let's go for the Sargasso Sea first, which is the darker one. So I'm not sure if this one's going to match. I want it to match in with my background. So it's more of a tealy blue. I think Kay might have used this. Oh no, she used metallics, didn't she, on her gnome? So I'm just talking to myself. A little bit of water. Oh, quite a bit of water. So we do want a watercolour with them. When you've got the translucent, one of the reasons I love the translucent paints is that I don't have to bother embossing, because I don't need to resist. Because with the translucent paints, you can see through. I'm going to go with this one, I think. You can see through where you're going. You see all your line art. You don't lose it. Whereas with the metallics and with the matte, you lose your line art unless it's really, really, really diluted down. And I just love the translucents. They're just wonderful paints. I keep going on about this, but I really do like them. So we're going to add a little bit of blue to where the gaps are. I'm not bothering with any shading. You absolutely can, and there are some wonderful samples which I'll show you from the design team where there are some wonderful colouring in, but I'm not going to bother with that because obviously it's going to take me too long. And there is shading inferred on the image anyway, so you don't need to worry too much. If you go for a second coat, then that colour's going to get darker. We're going to go here on his hat. Oh, do you know, I've done the wrong bit. Well, that's all right. So we're going to he's going to have this bit blue. Typical me. And he's going to have his pom-pom blue, but he's going to have that bit all glittered. So he's a bit of an alternative Santa. This is a special card. I get carried away. Do look at your packaging as well. Your packaging will help you decide where to colour in, because Kay's coloured it all in for you. I didn't have the packaging, so I got one of Kerry's samples and copied one of Kerry's samples, and I've still done it wrong. So we've got his beard, then that's going to be glittered, that's going to be glittered. So I think he's done with his alternative hat there. Look at his alternative hat. Yes, you could add translucent black to the teal blue to make it darker. Yeah, the standard watercolor techniques actually they do apply to the translucent paints. So yeah, so you can do this all the mixing. So and change the colors. You can also use the slate grey as well. That will make them a little bit darker. Do yourself like a colour swatch sort of journal page, and that'll you can. And Kay's done it before on many of her demos on TV, where she's mixed different colours together to lighten and to darken. Obviously, if you add the daffodil I think it's the daffodil, I'm sure it's called daffodil, the translucent yellow to this, then you're going to get a green, which will be a different green to the racing green. And there is actually another green, there's one called fresh cut grass as well. So there's lots of different colours that you can use. Now, I want to use some of the bluebell as well, so we're going to pull some of the bluebell out. What's Alfie saying? Yeah, you can. You can. Alfie's saying that you can add a lot of water and still not lose the vibrancy of colour. That's absolutely true. These paints are so highly pigmented. They are incredible. I'm going to keep that in a minute. I'm going to use that in a minute as well. So this is the bluebell. You can see it's more of a brighter blue. I only want a tiny bit of that because I'm just going to colour in the rest of the parcels with a different blue. I think a little tiny bit just came out of my paintbrush. I could do with some, you know, those lovely paintbrushes you've got on your website. I need to order some of those. Have a look at under the latest releases on the IndigoBlu website. There is not only the Christmas products that they're launching today, or we're launching today, but there is also a set of paintbrushes that look amazing. I desperately need some new paintbrushes because mine are really, well, they're not brilliant at all. This is actually a Games Workshop one from when I had my shop, so that's going back quite a long way. So you can see that's a different blue altogether, but it still marries in really nicely. So we're nearly there. It's they're very easy to use. Wonderful, wonderful paints. Love them. Right, so that's that bit of painting. Then I'm going to grab a little bit of cut and dry foam. Oh, thank you. I so want some of those. They look fantastic. Right, so we're just going to dip a little bit of cut and dry foam into the Sargasso Sea. And you don't want to waste this. You can use this to go around to edge your cards, and we're going to use it to edge our ho ho ho. So you can use it just like you were using an ink pad. You can also take your stencil and ink through your new stencil. So for example, I don't want to use that one. I'm just going to take a random stencil. It just happens to be on my desk. It does belong to Mr. M. But just to show you, I'm just going to grab a little bit of card here. You can absolutely take your paint and rub your paint through your stencil as well. So there's lots and lots that you can do with your paint, not just painting with them. You can add your paint to your texture paste as well. Do remember though, don't add very much. You don't need much because they're highly pigmented, and obviously you're adding a liquid to your texture paste. So if you added too much anyway, which you don't need to because of the pigment, you would change the consistency of it, and so it may seep onto your stencils more. I'm going to go around the speech bubble as well, because I can. Use it to edge your flowers. If you've got die cut flowers, use your paint to edge your flowers. Your tags, everything you can edge with it. There's my speech bubble. So I think we've finished with that. I'm going to just add some glitter to that, so we can move that out of the way. This paint will clean off the paint mat absolutely fine. It does it tends to take longer to kind of dry on the paint mat than it does on your craft sheet. So it is a, you know, quite often IndigoBlu have got them in bundles and things, so do have a look for the paint mats as well. So for this, now I could use my Grab and Go, but I'm actually going to use a Quickie Glue pen, because it's like drawing with a proper pen. So I'm going to just add my glue, my glitter, by using this. I hope it's coming out. Yes, it is. I can see it. My Quickie glue pen is so old that it doesn't go on blue. It goes on white. You could use your flitter glue as well. You can absolutely do that. But I am using a Quickie glue pen. And we've got the pom-pom. You can get little teeny tiny pom-poms from various places. Don't ask me where, but I know you can get them. I think a little teeny pom-pom would be really nice on the end of his. I don't think they're boots. I think they're slippers that he's wearing. Because he forgot to put his boots on when he went out he was running late, and the reindeer had been playing him up, and they wouldn't eat their dinner, so he was running late. So in a rush he went out, and he forgot to put his boots on, so he's got his slippers on. So I think a sort of a little fluffy pom, or you could make one on the end of his slippers would be absolutely brilliant. It'd add a little bit of dimension, a little bit of texture, and a little bit of fun to your card. So that's that. And then I'm going to just leave that a little time to set while we actually construct the background, and then we'll be able to put our glitter on there. So I've got some blue card here. I think it's called Tabriz Blue, which is from our fill, and I have cut this down a little bit too much, so, but it's going on another piece of card. Hopefully it'll be all right. But do that undercutting thing like I showed you. That is the best thing to do. I've got some tape on my frame. Oh, Christine is saying that the Works and the Range sell mini pom-poms. So you can absolutely do that. Actually, Christine's saying, another Christine, so we've got Christine Davis and Christine Thomas watching. She's saying imagination is a wonderful thing. Well, it is, absolutely. And just thinking about it, I mean, I'm normally telling stories about fairies, but you could actually do yourself a Santa Christmas story with these stamps. And especially with the long tall Santa and his buddy as well, so they could be having a party, and you could really get the kids involved, telling the story. Where's my grab and go? There it is. He's like a traditional Santa, isn't he? Suzanne's saying he's a cute Santa, but he's like a traditional Santa, but he looks happy, doesn't he? He looks friendly. He's not sort of, you sometimes see kids scared of going to sit on Santa's knee, but I think he'd be a really good Santa to sit on his knee. I'd like to sit on his knee, actually. Don't forget, all the products that I'm using today are available on IndigoBlu.com, and you'll find lots and lots of offers on there. There's a big bundle that have got the gnomes on, and we've got Gnevel and Gnorine. We've got 3 stencils that are brand new, and you've got the 3 A6 stamp sets on there as well. So great place to go and buy, and lots of offers on. You're saving quite a lot of money there on that bundle. So go and have a look. Let's get rid of that when we get in there. So I'm just going to put, just like before, I'm just going to put some more foam on my other layer. Is everybody all right? Doing okay? I'm not boring everybody. Hope you're enjoying it. It's so exciting to be involved with this special social media release of products from IndigoBlu. So I've got Kay did the live this morning at 7, not 7, at 9. 7 would have been too early. at 9 for about an hour and 3/4. So you can watch that on IndigoBlu Tube, which is that's Facebook. You can watch it on Facebook, IndigoBlu, or you can watch it on YouTube, IndigoBlu Tube. I would actually encourage you, if you can, to actually watch on YouTube, because it's nice to get all the watch hours up, and if you've got smart TV or an Amazon Fire Stick, YouTube is actually one of the apps that you can use. And so and you tend to get a lot of detail on your TV when you're watching YouTube on there. So I would encourage you to watch on your TV on YouTube if you can. We'd absolutely love it if you did. So there's my background all on already. Let's glitter my Santa, because we can now, because that quickie glue pen's nice and dry. Let's get my, I remember I put that in the bin because it got glitter on it and I need it. Don't dip your fingers in it. One of the reasons I do like to use quickie glue pen rather than the wetter glues is that I can burnish it. So by burnishing it I can actually rub my fingers on it. You can absolutely do this with flitter glue as well. You just need to wait for flitter glue to go clear. So he's got his alternative hat on, because I think he's actually got his bedtime hat on rather than his go out and get a hat. So he's got a white hat, a white glittery hat instead of the pom-pom. It's a stamp. You can do whatever you want with it. Yes, Virginia, it doesn't matter if you miss the beginning, because you can go back and watch it at any time. So you can watch Kay's live from this morning. Kay will be live at 11 AM tomorrow on Facebook and YouTube again, same place. And then Lorna Angwin from the design team will be doing a wonderful live at 2 PM tomorrow, and that will be the last show for this release. So I'm going to put him on a bit of foam tape. Oh, didn't want that to go in the bin. Stack things up, Julia, things fall off. Right. Okay, so this is 2mm foam tape. In fact, I'm going to just put a little bit on his top bit there so he doesn't flop. So let's see where we're going to put them. So if we do the same kind of layout as before, we're going to have that there, the Merry Christmas speech bubble. He's coming to somebody's door and he's saying, Merry Christmas, ho, ho, ho. So, oh, I've already taken the back off. I didn't mean to do that. Let's put that where we want it. We want that up there. Then we're going to have ho, ho, ho is going to be cascading down here. It's going to have a little bit of foam on as well. Ho, ho, ho. See, even the pigeon's joining in. You can hear the pigeon in the background doing it. And we're going to have our prezzies down here like so. In fact, I think I'll have that one there and the smaller one here. So let's think. So we're going to let's put these down. Can you hear the pigeon? Pam is enjoying it. I don't know if Alfie and Kay are seeing Pam's comment. She's saying, love, love, love this. So much better than on TV. Proper demonstration and an opportunity to join in. Thanks for doing it this way. Thank you, Pam. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I love doing these sorts of demos. It's like you're here with me, and you know, and I can take my time and I can laugh at my own jokes and things like that. But yeah, so he's saying Merry Christmas. I think we're going to go. Because I'm quite the background's quite obviously bumpy because we've got the texture paste. I'm going to put this onto foam tape as well, the present, but this is a 1mm piece. So that's going to go like so. And then we're going to have, I said that one there and that one there, didn't I? That's what I said. So we're going to glue that one, and we're going to put a little bit of foam tape behind this one. So that's going to go on this side. And then we're going to get some grab and go glue on that side. I'm going to have a tiny bit of tape on the right hand side of the little present, and then a little bit of grab and glow. It's nice doing different colours, isn't it? I noticed that where is it? It's one, I think it's one of Carolyn's. Can I find it? Excuse me a minute while I faff about. There, is it that one? No, it's not that one. Look at this one from Carolyn. Lots of presents. I think that one's ace. I love that one. I think that's a bit of masking that she's done. Right, I think it's all flat. I really like that one. This one, so I think that's been coloured in with Luscious, and so we've got the long tall Santa who's in purple, and then this ho 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 Santa, he is in a dark pink. So you don't have to do them in traditional colours if you don't want to. So I think that's rather marvellous, rather marvellous. So I'm just doing, let's show you a few more samples as well while I'm just doing tape. So this one, I love this one too. You know, just Santa himself surrounded by presents, and you've got just that squiggly border around the edge. I think that's terrific. Really like that one. Here's one with the long tall Santa, very rich, quite opulent. Love that one too. And here's another one with long tall Santa. You can see you don't have to use these stencils. Some other stencils are going to work too. I like this one on a dictionary page, and you can see the dictionary page is the Christmas kind of dictionary page. Really like that one. And there's another one here on a music page. And do you know, I've just looked at that, and I've looked at the elf or snowman or whatever he is, that little blobby one there that's with him. And to begin with, I thought that was a sort of what's it called, a surfboard. I thought it was a surfboard, and I think that would be really cool if you actually had a surfboard stamp and you're in, say, Australia, somewhere in the southern hemisphere, and you've got Santa in all his get up, and he's delivering a surfboard to somebody. I think that's really cool. So yeah, so anyway, so I've just put the ho 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 on foam tape as well. So he is now finished with his alternative Santa hat, which I'm a bit annoyed about, but I coloured it in wrong. But you know, I could have gone on top with gesso or something, but then I'd have lost his wonderful eyebrows in there as well, and that would be too faffy. But see, it works, doesn't it? So we've got the blue version, and we've got the red version. So it's exactly the same techniques, exactly the same stamps, but all I've done is swapped the red paint for a blue paint. So you can think about all your different paints, your pinks, your purples, whatever colours you want to use, and you can give yourselves different looks on that there. And I mean, also, if we I meant to show you, but I forgot. Where's my other bits I put somewhere? There they are. Also, if you took I haven't coloured these in, but you can do a very similar thing. So you've got our long tall Santa here and his little mate all cut out. You can have more than one little mate, and you can have that there, and that could be coloured in a frame, and you've got another card there. So you can absolutely do the same kind of things with the stamp set. So amongst the 3 stamp sets, which are 3 for £30, you can do that. So just before we sign off, let's do just a couple of techniques with the stencils and the pastes, because I think that it might be worth just doing that. So I'm just going to grab some card. I didn't cut that. Oh, I did. I've got some. What am I about? I've got some offcuts I can use. Here we go. I think that one's big enough. And that one's big enough. I'm just going to do a couple of little techniques with the stencil. So we've not used this one. So we'll use this one first. I am going to secure it down. And see, I never know when to stop, Kay. Kay's just thanked me. I think she thought I'd finish, but I never know when to stop. This is early. 1:22 is early. Got to earn my dinner. Right, even if it is only a salad. Right, so let's just secure this off. And some of the ones I've done on watercolour card, some of them I've done on the Pink Frog or the IndigoBlu stamping card, whichever. They don't buckle. They do behave really, really nicely. So I did say at the top of the hour that if you can only afford 2 of the Slap It On sparkles, I would highly suggest that you go for the gold stake coach and the silver lining. The gold and the silver you can do lots and lots of things with. So this one here, where are we going? Here it is. This one here is actually the gold, but it doesn't look gold, does it? Because I've changed it. It's very different, isn't it? Right, I've changed it. So what you can do is you can take, and I've got I don't I don't have many reds actually. This is Clockwork Heart. I don't know if this is a Luscious powder that still is in existence. If it isn't, then any kind of red will work really well. But I'm using Clockwork Heart because I've got it. So you do need to mix enough for your project. So what I'm going to do is, because I might mix too much, I'm just going to dry off my dotty stencil just in case I need it. Be ready for it. That's that. So let's pop some onto my craft sheet. Oh, I'm even going to put that bit in there. Right, okay. That's plenty. That is plenty. Don't need to clean the top because I didn't make a mess of it. And then we're going to grab a little tool and we're going to put some of the Luscious powder into it. Now, the more Luscious powder you put in, obviously the darker you're going to get it. Don't think, oh, look how much she's using. That seems a waste, because, you know, the worst waste is not using it at all. I've always said that. So you do want to use your products. Do be careful when you kind of mix it in though, because the powder might poof all over the place. So start gently to begin with to just incorporate it. And what happens is the glitter stays gold because that's gold glitter, and you can't change the colour of that unless you were, I don't know, perhaps putting gesso in it, but why would you do that? But what it does is it changes the colour of the suspension. So remember, it's a milky suspension that dries glossy and clear. It's like the Slap It On suspension. But now we've got that wonderful red colour. You see that? So we've changed it completely. I'm not worried about that there because it'll all incorporate. Do make sure it's mixed in. If you do want it mottled, then just don't mix it in very well. Try and pick it up. And then we pop this through. This is exactly how I did the background for the red Santa card. And you will find that as it dries, you sometimes get, and I'll try and show you a close-up, you sometimes get a bit of a halo around the edge of the image, where the colours kind of seeped out the edge of the paste. I don't know how to describe it really. So obviously this has got to dry. Where's my what's it thingy? There it is. But it's a way of, this is why the gold and silver are excellent, because you can take them and you can change them into variations of whatever you want, but they'll have the gold glitter and the silver glitter as the sparkle, but you change the base of them. In fact, you know, if they're on offer, I would definitely go for 2 of the silver and 2 of the gold, because then you've got that to play with forever. Because once you start playing and making colours, you just want to do it over and over and over. And in fact, cleaning off that stencil, I should have done that really. You get some of the Luscious in there as well. So obviously that'd be more sparkly when it dries. So when we look at this one, don't know if you can see around the very edge. It's very difficult to show you. I can see it to the naked eye. I can see where just the very edge looks more red than the actual stencil itself. It's very difficult for me to show you. So remember, we've got this little bit left over. So we can use it as is, or we could change it again. So what you could do is actually darken it if you wanted to. So just bear with while I just grab some more Luscious. There it is. So this is Blackbird. Now if you've got the, oh, what's the white one called? I can't remember what the white one's called. If you've got the white one, it's going to lighten it, but the Blackbird's going to darken it. So we can add a little bit of this to this, or a bit. Actually, you don't want to add very much black because the black is very, very dark. Not got much left, which is fine. If you want to, you can add some more to it. But I just want to show you a little tiny scrap. Oh, what have I just knocked down? Don't know what just fell down. Something fell down the back of my desk because there's a gap. So this is more of a rich. It's almost got kind of maroon tones to it because we've added the black to it. See, this would do a great border, or you can tear it and add it to a mixed media project. There's no waste. I do tend to overmix rather than undermix. Oh, face down on the carpet. But you see, that's almost like almost bronze, but it's very different to. I'll bring this one in again because the other one's over there. It's very different to that, so it's a lot darker. I love doing things like this. I'm in my element when I can play and mix things. So that's that. So I've got one more technique I'll show you, and then I will sign off for the day. And you can do the similar kind of things with your paints as well. I'd probably add metallics to it. rather than the mattes or the translucents. Myself personally, that's probably what I do. But do remember, you don't need to add much because it's very highly pigmented, and you don't want to add much anyway because you don't want to add more liquid to it. You can also add your vivids as well. I would use the vivid refills. You could add a little drop, just a little drop to them. Again, they're highly pigmented, and that will change your silver and your gold as well, which is a really good thing to do. So the other thing that we can do, obviously remember you can do that with the silver as well. The other thing we can do is we can do I need another stencil. We can do multiple colours on the same stencil by just adding different slap-it-ons, which is really nice. Lorna's done a fabulous sample here. So we're going to do that kind of thing. So Lorna's got the silver. She's also got the Jubilee Rose, and she's got the Queen Elizabeth that she's run through the spotty striped spotty. I've lost the will to live with the names now. I can't remember. So she's put those through that particular stencil and all together, and that looks fabulous. And obviously she coloured in that little character to coordinate with the Slap It On Sparkle that she's used, which is just fabulous. So we're going to do kind of something similar but different, and just see how it turns out. You can absolutely do this kind of thing with your True Grit. You can do this thing with your Slap It On Super Thick. It's quite nice to, you could put some of the Slap It On Super Thick through your stencil and then add a little bit of paint, metallic paint on the top, and then drag that, and that's quite a nice thing to do. You can sprinkle your Luscious, leave your stencil in place, whenever your True Grit or your Slap It On in there, and just sprinkle some Luscious over the top, remove your stencil, and as it dries, the Luscious, the pigment in it just kind of permeates out, and that's quite a nice thing to do. You can mix your, I've got to do a gild as well, haven't I? I've got to gild that poinsettia, don't let me forget, I'll do that as well. So yeah, so you can add gilding flakes to your Slap It On, which is quite a nice thing to do as well, because they kind of, the sort of greens and blues and in the actual copper or gold kind of seep out, which is really cool. So let's go for, I'm thinking we'll go that one, and that one. Let's try these together. So we've got some mermaid green. So let's put that over there, like so. Clean that off. Where's my what's it notice? Clean the top, Julia. And then we go with the Queen Elizabeth. So I tend to do in kind of diagonal stripes. What it does mean is that you end up, in any excess can't go back in the pot, and you sometimes end up with a very interesting colour at the end. Now that's quite clean around the top, so I don't need to do that one. And then we'll have a little bit of the Seize the Day down here, like so. Right, and as we've got Seize the Day on there, we're going to do this section first. Okay, that's that. I'm going to just put that excess just there for a minute, just in case I need it. I'm looking for my cloth where I normally keep it, and I've moved it. And then we're going to put some of the green one up the top. I'm going to put some of the excess there. I've already started picking up the purple, and then I'm going to drag the purple along the middle, like so. So those are the separates. Then we're going to start merging. merge there. That's quite nice actually, those two colours together. That's a separate. And let's merge these. I need a little bit more of that to merge those. Don't want to overwork it. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Obviously you've not got the full effect because it's not dry yet, and it's still a little bit milky because of the suspension. This gives you kind of a funky background when you mix your colours a bit. And if you wanted to extend this onto a bigger piece of card, it'd be nice for you to start with maybe the blue here and go the opposite way. So you go in zigzags. I don't know if you can see my hands, but zigzags like that. That'd be quite cool. You can even do a border. You don't have to do the full one. You can full size. You could do a border. Let's fetch this off and volley up. So now you've got a little bit of a mix of the colours here and a little bit of a mix of the colours there, but hopefully you can, I mean, it's quite subtle between the purple and the blue, but again, once you've got a frame around it, or you know, you can even die cut this if you wanted to. What happens is that it kind of flattens out a little bit, but of course you've still got all of your pieces as well. So that's that. I've got lots of things drying. I'm definitely feeling a homework box coming on. Let's just get rid of this extra little bit I've got here. Got one of Phil's stencils here. Another one. Let's take that one. Just do it. I don't want to waste this. I can't be doing waste. Sound like Leonie. Even if it's just a little bit that I can just tuck under something. I do quite, actually, I do, that's something else you can do, is mix the two colours. Should we do a little bit of that? I'm still off at a tangent. Look, so if you take a little bit of the green, try not to go in your pot with dirty Fusion flips. No, I won't forget my gilding. I'm on that next, I promise. A little bit of green. I need a little bit of the purple. So we've got Queen Elizabeth and Mermaid Green. And then actually mix them together. Then you've got the two glitters in there. So rather than having them separate like I did with the snowflake, you can actually mix them up together. So you've got, obviously glitters are never going to mix. The suspension is still the same, still that clear suspension. And you're going to have a fab border with the two different glitters there. I've still got a little bit left over. Grab that. So you've got two different colours going on there together. That's going to look fabulous when it dries. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous, darling. Right. Okay, let's clear this up and do the gilding, and then I can have my lunch because I can feel my stomach starting to rumble. Obviously, you wouldn't waste that normally. You would definitely put it through another stencil or do another border or something like that. You can see that the texture paste comes off your mat really easily. You don't have to worry about it. These non-stick mats are definitely worth having. This is one of Phil's ones. Right, so gilding. So we're going to use this wonderful poinsettia stamp. Remember, the stamp when it's stamped out looks like. What did I do with them? Here it is. Looks like that. Beautiful, beautiful stamp with the trellis and your poinsettia word. You've got winter, you've got 25, and you've got so the Moroccan trellis there. You've got a script here, lots and lots of splats, and you've got that kind of compass thing going on in the background there, which I still don't know what the name of. Yeah, so now we're going to gild it, which is a cool thing to do as well. So IndigoBlu do quite a few different kits. So I think normally in your kit what you get is you get a flitter glue, you get a piece of foam, you get a scoochie. That might not be the exact scoochie, but you get it's kind of a sponge that's got a bit rough. And then you've got, there's 3 different colours that are solid colours. You've got this one, which is your, I think, Chariots of Fire, I think it's called, the gold one. There's a silver one and there's a copper one as well. But don't forget, you can actually mix them as well. You can mix some gold and silver together if you want to, or copper and silver, or just mix all 3 so you can get different ones. I've got a little bit of silver in there, so you can make lots and lots of different things. So so that's your kit that you get, which is definitely worth having. Let's get ourselves some card to work on. I don't use watercolour card really. Let me just grab some of that stamping card. Oh, should we go on black? Should we go on black? Let's go on black. Let's see if I've got some black. This isn't a particularly black, but it'll do. And let's cut. Is it wide enough? Yeah, we can cut that in half quickly. So this wasn't planned. Roughly half. Right, okay, so we go on black, and I'm going to do 2 because we can do 2 techniques, and then I'm definitely finishing. So the flitter glue is in the same kind of container as your grab and go. So you've got this nipple, and you can just turn it round, and Louise is saying she's scared of flitter glue. Right, and the kit, there's just, I would definitely have perhaps a bucket of water near you, then you can just toss your stamp in there, unless you're going to clean it straight away. It's not scary at all. There's just a few different rules that you need to follow, or that I always follow, and it works for me. Kay will probably do it slightly different, but anyway. So you've got your flitter glue, and you want to squeeze some onto your fat foam, a good amount, and you're making yourself a glue pad, okay? And you want here we go. You want your I think it comes with one of these. Does it come with one of these, Alfie? I can't remember. But you can use this spreader thing. In fact, I think why have I got hairs in this? I think that looks like a Nathan hair. Nathan's my son. It's long, so it's his, it's not mine. It's not a cat hair. Right, so you spread it out, and now you've got a glue ink pad, if you like. Put that in there. And this is what you're going to stamp with. So you want to be ready, okay? And you just want to tap, tap, tap like you would an ink pad. So we're going to tap, tap, tap. This is a little bit wet. A little bit wet. It's all right. We'll be all right. Tap, 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 tap. The thing is, you can get yourself a production line going, because you can do this loads and loads and loads of times. When you finish, when you decide you don't want to do it anymore, then you actually put your stamp in some water or go and wash it. So the rule is 3 seconds as far as I'm concerned. So 1, 2, 3 and off. That's the important thing. Only leave it on your card for 3 seconds. And then we can, I've got some darker bits here. I don't know if that's just rubbish that I've got on my sponge, but we're just going to put that side to dry just for a second. well, it doesn't dry, it just goes sticky. And I can now re-ink or re-glue my stamp, and I can do this over and over and over again. Don't leave it for half an hour, you know, go and answer a phone call and then leave it for half an hour and think, oh, I'm still stamping, I can do it, because the flitter glue will have dried to your stamp by then. So it is, you can do it as many times as you want to, as long as it's within that same session. So again, we're going to go on here, 1, 2, 3, and off. You hear it suck off. If you leave it longer, it'll stick to your card, and it'll tear your card, and you'll get bits of card on your stamp. So now this is going into my bucket of water that's got loads of other things in it. Let me see if I've got this one that's big enough. Yeah, that's big enough. Put it into another bucket of water that doesn't have loads and loads of glitter in it. Otherwise, I'm going to get loads of glitter in my stamp. So every time I stamp it, I'm going to get in a mess. As long as you put it in some water, don't leave it soaking forever. It's only while I'm demoing that I'm doing this, or if you wanted to do something else. Also, you can pop this foam, which is actually a glue pad. You can pop it into a plastic bag and it will stay fresh for a little while. What I tend to do is actually wash it out. So pop it in some water, and then again, when I want to use it next time, I can do. Obviously, it's more cost effective if you do lots and lots of stamping and use up all the glue on your pad, but in reality, we don't tend to do that as much. So that's going to be washed as well, so I can use it again. And don't forget to clean off the nipple of your flitter glue and seal it as well. Now, you don't need to rush to gild, because this will stay sticky forever, basically. So, you know, if you've got a cat like mine that likes to jump on your desk, you don't want to have these lying around, because it'll stick to the cat's foot and he'll just be walking around shaking his foot all the time, and he doesn't like it. Okay, Alfie's saying that it doesn't come with the spatula, but obviously spatulas, the kit doesn't come with a spatula. Obviously spatulas are really easy to get and they're very inexpensive. So you'll definitely find the spatulas as well. They're quite good ones, the IndigoBlu ones. Right, so let's start doing a bit of gilding. I do need a piece of paper though, because otherwise... Oh, there's another IndigoBlu paper. Oh, surprise, surprise. There's another piece of paper. I've got loads of paper somewhere. Oh, I'll use one of these. This has already been used. Right, okay. So, if you just want to gild, all you need to do is take some of, and this is the Chariots of Fire. Don't sneeze, don't breathe, don't do anything. But that's probably enough, because you don't actually need very much. Put the lid on, don't sneeze around it, don't do anything. And we can move it around a little bit with our scooch. And then you start scrubbing, and you'll find the bits go everywhere. If you've got an intense bit, in other words, a bit that doesn't look detailed enough, you can absolutely, let's get a little bit more out, you can absolutely move it and scrub it, and you'll get all the detail out. Let's have a little bit more there. So otherwise I'm just going to get spongy bits stuck to it. There we go, that's a bit better. So you could do like I did at the beginning when I stamped and embossed. You can actually flitter glue and gild, and then do a few of them, and again you can cut that out and decoupage that up as well. You can use the other side of the scooch. Of my one you can. I don't know if I can't remember what the IndigoBlu one's like, to get rid of the excess. And then you've got, see, we've got all that detail. We can still read Poinsettia, we can still read Winter, we can still see the 25, and you can still see all that veining in your Poinsettia. It's absolutely beautiful. Another thing you can do is you can actually just put your Luscious powders on the top, because you can absolutely do that, and you can actually mix the two, which I really like. It's a technique that Kay told me about absolutely yonks ago, and I really like it, so I tend to do it whenever I get the chance. This is mermaid tresses, so let's use this one. I need a little tiny brush. In fact, now let's use something that's more appropriate. Let's use Cheeky Peach. Cheeky Peach. So I'm thinking about what the poinsettia might be like. So remember that whatever touches the flitter glue first is what actually stays there. It's a bit like Versamark in that respect. So what we can do is take some of the Cheeky Peach and think about where the poinsettia is. So the poinsettia is about here. And of course, because I'm on black card, the peach is actually a bit different. So, but remember, we get poinsettias in lots of different colours, don't we? So we can take that like so. And there's also leaves as well. So I don't want to use Olive Grove because I know that Olive Grove is more gold. Don't want that one. What's this one? Mermaid's Tail. I can't remember what colour this is on black. It's always a good idea with your Luscious to do yourself a swatch, so you know what it's going to be like. That's fine. So we're just going to add a little bit of green around the edges, because we can. Okay, a bit too much there. Okay. Then we can also gild. Obviously, I've been a bit contrived as to where I put all these things. You don't have to be like that. You can do it quite randomly if you want to. So now we can add some gilding flakes around the edges. I could have left gaps and I could have had some gilding flakes in the centre if I wanted to. And now we can scooch. So wherever the Luscious powders aren't, we can gild. So if you want more gilding, add less Luscious powder. You see there, the leaves there, isn't it? Where it's very kind of, it's not detailed enough, if you just scrub a little bit more, then you'll get some more detail out. You're never going to get it quite as detailed as you would with embossing powder or just using your VersaFine Clair. So I've got, what have I got here? Get rid of some of the excess with my brush, and then I can get rid of this is just a common and garden cheap wet wipe that I've let dry out. I call it a dry wet wipe. Available in all good Sainsbury's and other supermarkets. Not. So there we go. So that's partly gilded and partly luscious. Luscious. It's like I've been down the pub. So, hope you've enjoyed that. I have thoroughly enjoyed my almost 2 hours with you. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and do remember that you can buy all the products at... no, not there. Sorry. I haven't got all the products. You can buy all the products at IndigoBlu.com, and don't forget there's that super bundle on there where you can buy all of the new products. And when you're shopping, do have a look at the gilding flakes, at the flitter glue, at the Luscious powders, at the translucent paints. Do make sure that you have a good old route around on the website. And don't forget that tomorrow you will find on IndigoBlu Tube, where I am here on YouTube, you will find Kay at 11 AM, and then Lorna Angwin from the design team, she'll be doing a demo at 2 PM. And you can also find that on Facebook as well, in the IndigoBlu Facebook page. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend, and hopefully I'll catch you again soon. Bye.